Preparing to live stream the meeting. Mute that. Then it only shows me instead of you. Hold on. Got it. View. Speaker.
There we go. It says, oops. Shush.
But is it still just my face?
Then it only shows me instead of you.
Yeah.
There. What about now? Did that fix it?
I don't know. It looks like it's gonna be done. Okay. It's the.
It fixed it. Okay.
Wait, I don't know. Hang on. Yes, it fixed it. We're good. Hello, everybody. Oh my God, we're so awkward. Okay.
So it's okay. I think that we will hopefully see comments if they come through on the Zoom screen. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. But if not, I'm very sorry about that. And we have come up with kind of like a way. Should we make a post?
Yeah, I'm trying to do that.
Let me do that too.
So, hello everybody. Sorry for this awkwardness while we are getting everything ready. I have no idea how to do anything on anything. So, Grandma Claire at your service. Okay. How do I share it? What does this do? Share clip? Oh my gosh, I have no idea. Oh, I figured it out. Okay. So while we are sharing this, I just want to say, like, if you have never seen us before, hi, we're Sacred Rebels. My name is Claire. My business name is Clairvoyant Psychic Medium. I'm a psychic, I'm a medium. I also do Reiki and all kinds of other cool stuffs. And my co-host / partner is.
Hi guys, my name is Erika and I go by Erika Lane on social media. So what I do, I am a spiritual coach who also reads astrological and human design charts. I am a Reiki master, a psychic medium, and I also read tarot. And this is our Week Ahead podcast where we go over the astrology, human design, and tarot for the upcoming week. We also kind of just throw in whatever relatable life stories, self-help stuff that we're working on, and all the things.
Yep. So, to get started, what we do first is we're going to go over some astrology aspects. We'll go through every day. We'll get a little recap of last week and this weekend with the fucking Aries moon. Oh, it was crazy. Yeah, and then we do tarot and we're done. But be on the lookout, guys. We are going to be finally starting our new podcast, I believe this week-ish. Don't know when it's going to be out, but it is finally starting.
I'm excited.
Oh my gosh, me too.
I think that the main thing that we don't have all the details ironed out quite yet, but the main thing that we're trying to do with this new podcast is just showcase like what it is that we do and who we are and the kinds of people that we can serve, I would say.
Yeah. Because it's not very like, well, it's 100% not normal. And that has been a very big thing that we've been talking about lately. And it's like, I've been trying to compare it to be like, oh, what we do, we can't just be like, oh, it's time for a new furnace in your house. This is how much money it is. Like, this is what you're getting, blah, blah, blah. We have to show it. You got to have word of mouth with what we do. You have to feel it. You have to believe it. It's all that stuff. So we're going to make it a little bit easier for you.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, no better way to understand what you're getting than to just see it happen in real time.
Heck yeah.
So, talking about last week. So yeah, the Aries full moon, I think, is obviously the highlight of last week. And I was very aware of how agitated the energy in general started with myself as well, until I kind of like, I guess, figured out how I wanted to approach it. And then things started to kind of get better, I guess is the best way to say it.
Once you saw how bad I was spiraling, maybe.
No, girl, like it was everyone, like strangers, my kids, my family, friends, just everyone was very on edge.
Yeah, it was bad. So yeah, I had random strangers and random people like sending me messages like, oh my God, what is going on? I don't, nothing feels good, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, this moon is the start of a new lunar cycle. And we are fully shedding a lot of stuff.
Yeah. That's one thing.
And it's so uncomfortable.
That's one thing I haven't talked about yet, actually. So, we had the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio for the last year and a half. And so that's where all of the eclipses took place, was in the Scorpio Taurus axis. And now the nodes have shifted into Aries and Libra. And so the eclipse seasons are going to be in this Libra Aries axis, which is what we got a taste of with this Aries full moon. However, since this is the very first eclipse cycle with the nodal shift, technically the eclipse doesn't start until the middle of October, and then the full moon on October 28th is the lunar eclipse, right? So, and that lunar eclipse will take place in the Taurus Scorpio axis. So it is like a final end to that entire chapter. And that is a big deal, And so this full moon was just like a little, here's what's to come, guys. Like, here is what you can anticipate to be dealing with over the next year and a half, is this type of energy, figuring out what's behind your anger, figuring out where you need better boundaries, figuring out how to be more considerate, figuring out who you are in relationship with others in your life, all the things.
Yeah. And it feels chaotic. It feels crazy. Like, I feel like I'm like dropping people left and right. Like, it's a lot and it's intense. So I feel ya. We're with ya. I just forgot that I was going to be watching and see if people are going to chat in here. Okay. So yeah, that was the biggest thing that happened, I believe, this week. And it took me and a lot of people out. So we still have a bit of a hangover today. Because the moon's in Taurus, right?
Yeah, right. As of now it is, yes.
Yeah. So with the moon being in Taurus today, we're like, oh, let's just sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good way of putting it. It's like, also too, like I always have a lot of energy around every full moon, so I don't sleep as much. I feel like I just am more restless, more like wild chaos energy as it is, right? So I always kind of feel like a little hangover after the full moon energy subside.
Yeah, same. Usually if I have to like actually function around a full moon, I have to like take extra sleeping measures, whatever that may be.
That's a good
wear
way
myself out or take an extra sleeping pill. I still don't sleep good though. I just never do around a full moon.
Yeah, same. I'll wake up too early or have a hard time falling asleep.
Yep.
Okay, so
this week,
so this week we are
happy
starting with
October,
today.
everybody.
Oh yeah, spooky season has officially begun. Okay, so today, Monday, October 2nd, so the moon is in Taurus and it's conjunct Uranus. And funny enough, when you said that quote, that what was it? That like the like your potential is limitless.
Your potential self is infinite.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So, I love that.
Wow.
And I just want to bring us back to when I talk about how Taurus energy is the form. It is to make form. It is to make things in 3D reality that are of value. It is all of the things that you can touch, see, taste, smell, all the things, right? And so when we think about that as in ourselves, because we are different forms as humans, this is just a little reminder that that form that you have as a human is also limitless, that you can be creative, you can do whatever you want with it, you can transform it into whatever you need or want in the moment. And I think that that is beautiful with Uranus there.
Wow.
And to get innovative as well. And Uranus is still making a square aspect to Venus, while Venus is conjunct Juno. So Venus is thinking about its long-term partnerships. It's thinking about who it can build an authentic life with, right? Like, who can I be myself around? And with this Uranus square, it's like anything is possible. You're not confined or limited by, or you shouldn't be confined and limited by your partnerships. If that's the case, then are they really a long-term partnership? Because a long-term partnership is going to shift through the changes with you as you grow and evolve.
Yeah, that's real.
And as that's going on with Venus and Juno is also making trine and sextile aspects to the nodes. So it's making a trine to Aries North Node, giving us more passion and acceleration towards that type of energy, which is more like self-centered. It's what do I want? What do I need? Where do I want to go? What do I identify with? And then all of this at the same time, Mercury is now in opposition to Neptune, which is having us reflect on Virgo season as a whole and the Mercury retrograde in Virgo, and how aligned our beliefs and our thoughts and what we speak, like how aligned is all of that, right? How can we bring that all to a more like together energy, I would say.
So like changes are going to start to be felt and more put together feeling.
Yeah, I kind of see it too as like changing the way, like if you're changing your beliefs, then you're also maybe thinking like, okay, how do I change my thoughts? How do I change the way that I speak to others? And all of this is, and all of this is to bring you in alignment with a more authentic self, with Venus, with the whole Venus and Leo transit that we've been experiencing. It's all about that value of being your authentic self. And I know that we have talked about that a lot. But I guess now we're bringing it into the realm of like relationships and how that fits with others. And I love also thinking of like relationships as not just like relationships in the Libra point of view isn't just like your significant other or your friendships or your children or your family. It's also just like how you relate to everything. Like, how do you relate to the house that you live in? How do you relate to the job that you have? So how can we bring all these things into more alignment with who we are and what we stand for and what we believe?
Woof. Yeah. Cool. That feels awesome. And I'm very excited about it, but it's a lot and it's everything. So.
And it is. And two, like with Uranus in gate 23, this is the gate of assimilation, you know, so it's trying to make complex things more simple. With Mercury in gate 6, it's trying to be diplomatic, like it's looking at all the conflict, and like, so that's kind of why I said too, like you could be changing the way that you speak, because maybe you're trying to resolve some conflict in your life, you know, and bring some more peace to your life. And in order to do that, you have to kind of simplify the complexity of everything. And Neptune, you know, that one is, when we're talking about the beliefs, that's the one that is the crisis gate. That's like, you know, saying that when things are turbulent, you have to, I guess you have to have compassion for humanity. You have to realize that we're all in this together, that you need others. And I think that that's a hard lesson for Aries energy as well.
Yep. We don't always have to do it on our own. It's okay to ask for help. Yep. And then the people pleasingness of the Libra, like we don't need to be people pleasing. We don't need to care so much what another person thinks. If we need to ask for help, we need to ask for help, and we deserve it.
Yeah, no, I love that. It's like the Libra energy of like needing to always be liked by everyone is also getting really challenged, because to do the things that you probably want to pull off in your life, not everyone is going to like you, and you're going to have to figure out how to like pursue your goals and your authenticity regardless, you know, otherwise you're never going to make it there.
Yep. So that's Monday.
That is Monday. So I keep switching back and forth between different things. Okay. So Tuesday, October 3rd, the moon then shifts into Gemini. And as soon as it does, it's going to make a square to Saturn in Pisces. So this is a mutable square. And it could feel just a little bit like everything all at once. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the thoughts happening at once. And also too, like the Saturn in Pisces is a bit about like this like stern, are you walking your talk kind of thing, like how well do you
That's
live by your
exactly what I was
beliefs?
thinking. Wow.
Yeah.
Where it's like, are your thoughts aligned with your beliefs? It is time to walk the walk and talk the talk. It's time to do all of it. Time to fucking show up.
Yeah, and to sort through the beliefs that are holding you back versus the beliefs that expand your potential, and like look at that as in like, wow, I am actually acting on the beliefs that's why they're holding me back, because I'm acting on those beliefs.
Yeah.
And I'm not acting on the ones that are expansive, you know. So it's like, how can your action and your beliefs meet up and have maybe a hard conversation with each other?
Yeah. So meditation is probably going to be a little hard on this day, but it is needed.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And also like Neptune is a lot about like just crazy fears as well, you know, facing fears.
Oh.
Subconscious fears, subconscious
what
blocks,
was that quote that
like
I said? It was, anger is fear under pressure.
I love that. I love that there's so many quotes coming around to me and you and a lot of people lately about anger.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a really big thing. I mean, this Aries moon really let me like like it was
Get
so
it
much.
out.
So if you guys don't have me on TikTok, I'm on TikTok, whatever that is, probably clairvoyant. But I'm holding my mannequin heads and I'm just like stabbing the shit out of it. So that's a part of the process, but I was literally like thinking about situations and people and just the anger that I feel around that and just stabbing it out. And then there's this new TikTok trend right now where they're smashing pumpkins, and I just fucking love that I just realized that it's that. But what it's just getting out your anger, and girls are taking baseball bats or golf clubs to pumpkins. Is that all that it is? It isn't like a challenge or anything, is it? I don't think it was.
Yeah, I don't think so. No.
But I love it because us as women, us as Americans, us as whoever the fuck you are, there's anger. There's so much suppressed anger. And we have been taught and raised and told to believe that you can never express your fucking anger, and it's wrong. It just makes people uncomfortable and they want you to shut up. Well, I'm not shutting up anymore.
Especially as a woman.
Woo!
Yeah, one of the big realizations too that I've come to is how usually your anger is also a good indicator of where you don't have good boundaries, of where you're kind of like, you're kind of what is the word I'm looking for? Letting yourself down. Where you're letting yourself down. That's why you feel angry a lot of the times. And so when you set appropriate, healthy boundaries because you love and respect yourself, you feel empowered. And when you feel empowered, you don't feel angry, because when you feel angry, you feel powerless, right? Like you feel like,
wow.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm angry, I feel powerless. How can I take more empowered action right now? Which is the initiative. It's taking initiative for your own life, your own wants, your own needs, your own desires, and putting your own mask on first and drawing a boundary, separating yourself from the things that continuously agitate you.
Oof. Yeah, that's been a big thing lately. And hard boundaries, and you having to be uncomfortable because of the boundaries. It's like nothing feels good. It's not that like nothing feels good. It's just change is uncomfortable. The end.
Mm-hmm. No, it for sure is. Yeah. Even like you not having boundaries was also you not having boundaries with yourself. So as soon as you place a boundary on someone else, you're also placing a boundary on yourself. And that means you also have to live up to this. And that's a lot of pressure and responsibility and change for yourself as well. Yeah. Okay. So also
wait, I have to say this because I have also been seeing, and it has been I think it's because of my Aries moon. I don't know, whatever. That's what I'm gonna blame it on right now. Seeing when other people give up on their boundaries lately. And I'm just like, I want to like call out people and scream and be like, come on, what are you doing? So it's really hard out there for everyone. And I know it's uncomfortable. But wouldn't you rather be uncomfortable in the right way instead of going backwards?
Right. Yeah, because also that moment of uncomfortableness that you feel once you push through that, it's actually giving you a lot more comfort. Like that's the point of it.
Eventually will. Yes.
Yeah.
But the other one will be uncomfortable always.
The other one.
Like if you choose to stay the same.
Oh,
if
yeah.
You not change,
I get what
you're
saying.
going to always be uncomfortable in that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. Because you're going to know deep down inside, you know that you want to do better for yourself. That's why.
Yep.
So also as this is going on, Mars is in exact conjunction at this point with the South Node. And remember, Mars, like part of the reason why all of this feels so agitating, and like you said about people giving up on their boundaries, because Mars in Libra is like, it's almost like that telling a character what they're supposed to do. So like Mars is the character saying, Mars character, you're supposed to be ambitious and go after what you want and put yourself first and have all of this go-getter energy about you. And then they just put a like 10-pound weighted blanket on you and go, go ahead, try. And that's why it's hard, because that weighted blanket is like that consideration of everyone else's feelings and
I saw
perspectives.
an anvil, and I have to just interrupt you because like Animaniacs are coming into my head, So like imagine trying to do all of that work, carrying this anvil of like weight. You can't do it. You have to sift through what you need to put down, what you need to there's work to be done no matter fucking who you are.
No, that's the best advice you could give for this Mars and Libra transit. Is that's the point in it, is like, why it feels debilitated right here, because it's weighed down by others.
Yep.
So where are you weighed down by other people and relationships in your life? Even like I said, the way you relate to things as well. Like, how is the way I relate to my home weighing me down? How am I treating my
Wow.
home? How am I treating the car I drive in? Like, how am I relating to these things in my life? And how is that like stagnating that Mars, that pure potential raw Mars energy that just so badly wants to charge forward in life? Because that's what it's going to be about for the next year and a half, is that pioneering, charging forward in life.
Okay, so we all have that anvil on our chest right now. We're holding that fucking thing. So we need to be thinking like, okay, that person needs to go. This person needs to go. That responsibility I need to be done with. This thing's wasting my time. That is taking my energy. Where are you going to be focusing it? How much can you carry? What do you want to be fucking doing? Figure it out now.
Figure it out. That's what I'm doing. I'm literally like, just like I need to figure out my vision. Like, where am I going versus where am I at right now? And like, what in the middle needs to shift in order to get me there, And that actually brings me to my next point. Also on this day, Mercury is going to start trining Pluto. So like Mercury first was like, oh, what do I believe? And how am I talking my talk, walking my walk and everything? And then it's like, oh, here's this like little superpower. Like, because of that, I can now speak transformation into existence. And this is a big deal because Pluto is finishing up its
The
time in
easy
Capricorn.
outs.
The easy outs. What do you mean?
Okay, so take into consideration the situation that we talked about before the podcast. Sorry, everybody else, I'm not going to let you in on this right now. But it like, I didn't have to say the words. I literally got an easy out. Because Pluto is pairing, and it's like, here you go. You're gonna take care of yourself. Here you go. I'm giving you the out.
I like that too, because it also kind of portrays to that subconscious side of yourself that deep down inside wants these particular things. And the way that you show up in the world might contradict that, right? Because you might like be like, oh, I really want this, but like, I want to be likable. I want people to like relate and connect with me. So I'm going to like show up in this other way. And sometimes you just like blurt things out that you didn't really intend. And it's really that deeper side of yourself, crying out to like try to shift these things in your reality. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, well, like, oops, I didn't mean to say that. And I didn't anticipate that to happen. But actually, that's probably what I needed. Like, that's probably the best thing.
Welcome to Aries energy, everybody. This is what it's like all the fucking time for me, where I accidentally shit out of my mouth and then I'm like, okay, I think I will do that.
Oh my goodness. And I can relate to this. Like, it's funny, I saw some gal talking about Aquarius energy. She kind of said the same thing. She was like, Aquarius has a tendency to kind of just like say everything and like put everything out there because it's like the water bearer. It wants to constantly like pour the waters of truth onto people. But then sometimes it bites us in the ass, where it's like, it bites us in the ass in a lot of ways, because we're not dealing with a playing field with an environment of just like the whole world out there to be able to speak our truth all the time. We have to kind of have that first intuitive awareness of like, who's ready for this truth. who's ready for this opinion, this idea, instead of just, giving it away for free to anyone.
I'm sending off my fucking cameras, man. Sorry, I got distracted for a second. Life.
That's okay. I'm trying to find my notes again. There we go. Oh, okay. So coolest part of Tuesday is that there is a yod forming. So yod is also known as the finger of God. And this is when we get the sextile aspect between Venus. So Venus and Juno together, making a sextile to the south node, and then pointing. So the point is like two I hate that word so much. Quincunx aspect to Neptune. So back to Neptune again. This is
delusions.
And it's so potent because Neptune has been in Pisces, and it's even like, towards the last degrees of Pisces at this point, and it's retrograde. So it is like very powerful Neptunian energy. And it's basically like, here is all of this like work you have done on your authentic self, and what kind of energy you want to surround that self with, right? Because with Juno there, it's like, who's going to support this self? And then it's like, hey, South Node, allowing me to release this people-pleasing energy, allowing me to release this over considerate, over codependent on what everyone else wants from me. So thanks, that's helpful that I'm releasing that, because this is really helping me formulate new beliefs, connect in spiritually, and change things in like a quantum kind of way, right? Form like all this shit in Taurus, like form and innovate material reality, because I'm bringing this like higher spiritual thing, like, and grounding it down into material reality.
Ooh.
Which is, it's big, but all you have to do is strive to have integrity for this authentic self you've cultivated, and let other people's opinions of that fade away, shed them, continuously shed them, and connect back in. And I think too, like with Neptune and the placement that it's in, even on the human design side, it's like, it's like when somebody reacts to you in a way like I know for like Libra energy, like the worst thing ever is like when you're embarrassed, or when someone insults you, or when someone tells you like insults you in a way that like makes you feel worthless or less than, because Libra energy is always trying to prove its worth in a way to others, right? And so when it's doing this, like those big woundings that come into like other people's projections onto you, I think that what's cool about this Neptunian energy is to realize that actually like none of those projections are really coming from a place of your worth. It's actually coming from a place of the other person's worth, right? Because like you're not going to put other people down unless you feel like shit about yourself.
Yeah.
So like, why would you take other people's opinions seriously when you can sense that it's coming from a place of their own wounding and their own hurt and their own pain and suffering? Like, how can you see the other as human just as much as you're human? That's what helps us kind of have that diplomatic energy to be able to resolve conflicts, right? Because diplomatic energy is basically saying like, hey, you're different than me, but like you're worthy too, even though you're different from me.
Oh, it's 11:11. Make a wish. Wish me. Okay, so the one thing that I wanted to say is, fuck. It's gone.
Hold on, let me try to help you. It's back to shedding what everyone else thinks about you to form new beliefs about yourself.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know. The only thing that I want to say right now though is just that, like, I guess take it from the Aries energy in me. Every single time I have a problem, and this is something that I think you said to me recently, every single time that there's a problem going on in my life or whatever, it's always with another person. And as Aries energy, I can easily, now that I've realized, just kind of like get out of my life, you know. But when it comes to Libra, it's always a battle with you. It's always a battle with yourself. So people with Libra energy, you're going to be shedding that of what you think others think, what you think that they should think, what you feel expectations, like all of that fucking shit. And like stepping into this Aries energy of not giving a shit. But I also, one of the things that I think I was going to say was it was having to do with compassion. I was in therapy last week, I don't know. And we were doing EMDRs over something with both of my parents. And when we were done with that set, she was like, what came out of that? What did you find out or whatever? And I was like, I, for the first time in this moment, had compassion for my parents in that, for that. Like, I saw they were doing the best they could with what they had. They didn't, like, there was no intention of like traumatizing me or whatever we were talking about, you know, like, so I think that that is the key, is what I was trying to say, is, and it's just compassion and love. Like, we need to find the compassion, Aries energy. Libra needs to love themselves.
Also, it's like a
more.
lot to do with decisiveness as well. Like kind of like what you said reminded me of how also Libra has a tendency, like if it needs to make a decision in its life, it will ask everyone else's, like, you know, what do you think about this? What would you think if I did this? And it's because there's this deep down like need or desire to like search for that approval of someone to say like, yeah, you should do that, you know, or you'd be good at that. Like, you know, it's like we want that from the other, right? Because it's so relationship oriented. But with this Aries energy coming in, it's also like, how can you kind of like quiet that and be like, what do I want? What do I think I'm good at? And really trust yourself in that. And stop like when I say like letting yourself down, that's what I mean. Like when you're always putting everyone else's shit ahead of your own shit, then you're always letting yourself down. That's why you say like, oh, you set all these goals for yourself. Like, I'm going to eat better. I'm going to sleep better. I'm going to be a better mom, whatever like your goals are. And then you say that to yourself in your head. And then you keep like letting yourself down. You're like, you're not letting anyone else down from what they expect out of you, but from what you expect out of yourself, you keep letting yourself down. And that does nothing for your self-worth.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
I get so uncomfortable if I let myself down. Like, I am immediately like, oh, gotta change that, you know. So I don't know how you guys do that.
I'm getting a lot better with it, for sure. But like, yeah, I think it's because when we feel like we let someone else down, it is like our version of we feel like it's like letting ourselves down.
Yeah, totally.
Because like you know, the bad side of Libra energy is that you allow other people to literally hold your worth in their hands.
That's terrible.
Okay,
where are we?
We're on Wednesday, and don't worry, there's some short days. So Wednesday, basically all we have to deal with is the moon still in Gemini and a repeat of this other energy. I will say too that like another big part of this like Mars in South Node energy is that it's also about the fear of failure. Like again, if you're letting everyone hold your worth in their hands, and then you have this like fear of failing them. Again, turn that back around onto yourself of like, I fear failing myself, you know, like fuck everyone else. I don't want to let myself down. And that's basically where I was going with that.
Good.
So yeah, so Wednesday, we're dealing with the moon in Gemini. It's just a lot of thinking, a lot of air energy, a lot of informative energy. You might be like, you know, receiving new little downloads of information that help you, or having some conversations with others where you are informing others. Yeah, that's basically all I have to say about that. Then we get to Thursday, October 5th, and then the moon moves into Cancer. When that happens, it's going to make a trine to Saturn in Pisces, and it's going to square Mercury, which has now just transited into Libra. So Mercury is officially now in Libra. And as it's doing this, it's like it's shifting into this gate of 46, which is all about determination of the self, pushing yourself forward. And this one's like one of my favorite Libra gates, because I feel this one so strongly, where the shadow is seriousness and the gift is delight and the city is ecstasy. So this one is where I really kind of realized like how serious I took my own healing journey. And also how I show up in the world. Ooh, and actually that's kind of hitting me again right in this very moment of like, yeah, that makes sense. Like that ascendant, right? It's like I take myself too fucking seriously of like how I show up. And that has been a giant detriment to like everything in my life over the last year. Like as I'm trying to break out of my old matrix life and create this new like freeing life of like doing what I really love to do and what I'm really passionate about, like how I show up doing that, I have been taking way too fucking seriously.
Yeah. Good for you.
I think too, like when we say delight, like the gift of delight, it's like this, I look at it a lot as like the small little details. Like, how do I take delight in these mundane things? Like that's another part of my Aquariusness too, where like I literally get pissed off that like I have to do human things, like that I have to like eat and like do chores and like fold laundry, like all that shit like enrages me. And it's because I want to stay in this cool little thought bubble all the time, you know. But learning how to take delight in those things has really helped me like ground and stay like centered, you know, in a lot of different ways.
I think the Taurus energy in me really allows me to take delight, like whatever. I don't know. I can just like think like yesterday morning when I woke up, I go down into little Claire's room and I have new Squishmallows and a new stuffed animal that Christina gave me this weekend. And I just like curl up and I'm just cuddled up with all of the stuffed animal things. And I can literally just take like moments throughout my day where I do stuff like that, where I'm just like, oh, I love this. I'm so comfy. This smells good. This is beautiful. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, this is great. Like I have tons of those little moments. So I guess I am very grateful and thankful that I do see life like that always. Always. I've always been that way.
See now too, oh, I think that also this is like my SQ. So this is like something from like my very early childhood life of kind of like having this shadow like projected at me and like needing to heal it, this like seriousness thing. So I will say that I have been much better about that delight thing over the last couple of years, probably is like when I released, but before that, like not at all. Like, you know, and even now it's like I'm realizing it in different areas of my life. Like, yes, I've taken more delight in parenthood or like the way that I make my home, or like small little things like that, where I'm having like these moments for the very first time in my life where I'm just like want to cry just because I'm so filled with like awe and gratefulness from like what I'm experiencing, you know. But like, for instance, when it comes to business, I'm just now noticing like, oh, I'm still taking that way too seriously. Like, how can I find more delight? And like, this is also like the small little details of like what it takes to run a business, like keeping up an Excel spreadsheet, or you know, writing like emails, or coming up with like content. Like, not all of that, like I was taking all of that too seriously, you know, and then it was like wasn't even fun anymore. So yeah, I guess I'm just saying that to all of you guys, because I think that no matter like what placements you have, this is good.
It's Venus.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, it is. It's learning how to take value in things, to give the moment more value as well. That's what I've been asking myself. Where do you want
to be bougie?
Yeah. Yeah, which is some stuff that I've been helping incorporate, you know, like the way I make my tea, or like my bedtime routine, or my morning routine, or just like all these little things, you know, playing with my kids, like how I'm kind of just like slowing that moment down. And really, like, I think of it kind of too as like, which is probably a very Taurus thing when they talk about like how if you want to lose weight, a good way to do it is to like really slow down when you're eating your food, and like have like a whole moment with it of like really tasting it and everything. Eating. Yeah. So it's like, it is that mindfulness thing. Yeah. It's like bringing that into every moment of your life as much as you can. It's hard to do. Way easier said than done. Two, a quote that goes with this day from Richard Rudd about that gate is that we might think that ecstasy takes place in some far off spiritual dimension. It takes place right here among human beings. We're natural born ecstatics. To allow that level of beauty into our inner being, we have to unlearn many of our masculine traits, which goes back to that like about this. I'm like, you know, again, I'm constantly talking about it, but the reason why is because it's like, it's happening. Like, it's in my reality that I am seeing this shift take place. And this is why I took things too seriously, because I was in Libra helping to balance things back out again, right? Like, my Libra rising, literally my whole life is about bringing things into balance. And I was out of balance in that area for like most of my life. And I think a lot of people are, because that's one thing that a lot of people are coming to the realization of Pluto through Capricorn, destroying that around us. Like, it's like, what are we going to rebuild? And hopefully we're coming at that from a more feminine perspective of like, how can all of us live in ecstasy? How can all of us take more delight in life? Like, I also think about that, like, experiment with the rats in the cage, and like how they put heroin in the water, and like got these like rats addicted to heroin. And when they were like in this really dingy, shitty cage, like they were all about that heroin water. But then they shifted them into like this like cage where there was like more for them to do and experience, and like more fun for them
to not do the heroin.
They would choose the non-heroin water over the heroin water. Yes. Yeah. Like, you know, it's so true.
Time to like moving on up. That's what's coming out. Yeah.
Level up.
What's next?
Okay. So then Friday, again, another short day. I just wrote the moon is still in Cancer. So we're kind of still riding on this energy into Friday. Libra, or this Mercury into Libra is a little bit like, again, I feel like people might really struggle to hold on to these boundaries and stuff, because again, with like the Mercury aspect there, it's like, yeah, it's like considering other people's, it's like, what would they think about this? And like, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so Saturday.
But more communication, more air, that feels good. That could be very good for communication. Even though Virgo is where it's at home, but it's been shit on.
Well, I love that you put that because, like, yes, it was at home there, but it was more introspective, and this like movement into Libra is helping it, like, I want to say again
Outwardly
with that, like,
shed.
and with that diplomatic thing, you know, it's like I feel this way, you feel like
Yeah.
I like, and that's why it's like, oh, okay, so like, yeah, I can bring the other's perspective into this, but I'm still holding on to mine first. Like, hey, I
Mm.
feel this way. I know that you feel this way, but here's what I need. You know, are you on board with this? Can we find a diplomatic compromise here? And I think that that's the trip for Libra, is that if yes, great. If no, are you going to cave, or are you going to hold true to yourself? You know, are you going to respect yourself, or are you going to disappoint yourself again? Scary, man.
It's not. I don't have fears, remember? So we got to just keep going. I'm really becoming so apparently, annoyingly, whatever wordly you want to use, of how different I am because fear motivates me. Yeah. So that's something you should figure out about your human design chart, and we can help out with that. Erica's the best. Yeah.
It's funny that you said that, because remember, my only fear in the human design world is rejection, which is what I was just talking about. So, okay. Let me see here. Okay, so now on to Saturday, October 7th. So the moon is at its last degrees of Cancer at this point, and it squares the nodes in Libra and Aries, but it also trines Neptune. So we're bringing all this back again, you know, like these beliefs, the initiative that you're going to take, the shedding of the Libra energy that's going to help you transform these beliefs. And feeling, I think a lot of this is just going to be like vulnerable feeling of your emotions.
Yep.
That's been how I've been able to do it. Like,
and really understanding and knowing that they're not delusional. They are real. It's okay that they feel big.
And they're yours. They're not
Yeah.
anyone else's. So no one has the right to give you any kind of judgment on your feelings. They're your feelings.
Yep. This is really making that like apparent, because with all these placements and everything, it's like, are you gonna fall down and let someone keep walking all over you, or are you going to stand up and be like, no, I'm fucking uncomfortable, stop?
And having compassion for yourself, I think, is the biggest way to get through that as well, right? Because like you want compassion from these other people for your feelings, but like it really, again, it all starts with you. Like you have to have compassion for your own fucking feelings, and that's how you're not going to allow
their job.
Yeah, it's like, you know, if like you have to believe in yourself as strongly as like if Claire were to tell me right now, like, hey Erica, you have brown eyes, and I'm like, no I don't, I have blue eyes. Like that's how strongly you need to trust in yourself and your emotions. Where if Claire is like, hey Erica, you're, you know, tries to gaslight me and tell me what I'm feeling, like, no Claire, this is what I'm feeling. Like, you know, you have to be able to like hold on. That's that Aries energy. That's like, I know myself, I trust myself.
All right.
Okay, so Mars also starts to square Pluto on this day. I think that that might be the biggest thing of the whole week. Mars is power. Pluto is power. Like this is very
frustrating.
And it's everything else. Like Pluto is societal expectations. Pluto is the government, time, rules, the past, karma, responsibilities. Like it's all those things. And then Libra is also like everyone else's opinion, everyone else's perspective, what everyone else thinks is valuable, how to like build healthy communicative relationships. Like all of this is having like this like square. Like a square is very tension heavy. So I definitely feel like there's a lot more to dig into with that aspect. Like I'm very interested to see how this one is going to play out. I guess I'll just put it at that.
And this is what day?
Saturday.
Okay, and it's Mars squaring what? Pluto?
Yes.
So, okay. And Mars is still in Libra. Yeah.
It's still conjunct the South Node. Pluto is in
God.
retrograde.
Complete
Also,
depth of
at the same
what
time as
we
squaring
thought the
the
future
moon.
was going to be. Ow.
Yeah. It's also squaring the moon in Cancer. So I think that that's another play again towards this feminine, towards basically the matriarch versus the patriarch, right? Like Capricorn is the patriarch and Cancer is the matriarch. It's like how you bring that same responsible, momentum building type of energy, but like in a more nurturing kind of way. You know? And then
So
Libra,
what my
I
brain
think,
just thought, I have to like say this. I'm so sorry. And I probably said this in the last fucking podcast, or I said this with you. I don't know. Goddess Freya, she is known as an equal to Odin. It's that kind of energy where I can show up as a fucking strong ass woman and do what I need to do and get everything done that I need to get done. And I actually demand more and need to receive and deserve more, because Odin gives her the first choice of the souls or dead or whatever it is that when battle happens. It's that energy where we can be feminine and we can be powerful at the same time. We have been told that it's not powerful because we have emotions, when in reality, look at all you whiny ass bitch males that can't fucking do anything because you don't know how to fucking function when you have feelings.
remember that video I sent you too, where it was like, it's like the shift from doing versus being, you know, that's also a play with this as well. Like the reason why emotions bother men so bad is because it impedes on their doing, which is what they want.
Yeah.
They want to be doing.
Yeah.
And when women feel emotions, it's an opportunity for us to change the moment of what we're being and experiencing. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yep.
as too, with all of this squaring over to that Libra energy, it's like this tension of like, how are you going to create the balance of this? How can you see the relationship between what you're being and what you're doing? I think that's another big part of it. Like, what do you want to be experiencing in your life? Is what you're doing matching that?
Yep.
You know, are you constantly in the state of being pissed off because you're doing things that are keeping you in that place of being pissed off?
I think that was the first time that you've big sighed. I'm always the one like, I have like TMJ right now. My jaw hurts.
Is it your headphones?
No, it's my jaw. I was like clenching my teeth or something. Sorry, random.
That's weird. That's the thing I was dealing with for a while, and it's not happening right now.
Oh, great.
So I really feel like this is going to be a very powerful transit, like for sure. Like, so I really feel like it's going to be crazy.
I didn't know what you're doing there, but I got it.
I know. I'm making fun of myself. Okay.
That's Saturday. Do we have anything else to say about Saturday?
Yes. So a couple other things to talk about with this Mars and Pluto or this Mars square Pluto transit. I wrote down a little bit of info about the gates with these two. So Mars in gate 50 is making sustainable and nurturing choices that are good for the tribe. Nurturing yourself so that way you have more to give. Intuition that knows what others need to bring them into greater alignment with love. Can be codependent, comes with the fear of failing others because it's all about the tribe, you know? So like the shadow of this is corruption and the gift is equilibrium. So this is where we say, like, what everything we were saying about the boundaries, it's like when someone is impeding on our ability to take care of our own tribe, right? Like this is another reason why I think this transit is going to be super, super crazy and strong, because we have been really dealing with those energies out there in the external world, like these energies of corruption. And get this, Pluto, gate 60, that's the shadow of limitation. So you just take the words corruption and limitation and you square them against each other with Mars and Pluto. Like, that just feels really big to me. The other thing you can say about the gate 60 is that it's more individual. So it's like the other side is more tribal. It's like my tribe. This one is more individual. And that's because of these limitations. It's like the acceptance of the limitations against you, but it also coincides with the adrenal glands. So it's like having that kick on of like adrenaline to like push past your limitations. So it's like exploring also what works with an open mind, so that way you can overcome more and more limitations, and to not let the fear of loss overwhelm your resourcefulness, and to hold on and not allow for growth, like to hold on to like your material things, which are impeding also your growth, and to fight for the old and rebuke change would also be like you holding on to these like, well, this is like what I've always known and I like this about my life, and so I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to change. And also letting that overwhelm cause paralysis and resistance. So those are all things that can kind of like make this even more tension filled. So what do you think about that?
I don't want to. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm just gonna take it in. It's change. It's uncomfortableness. We gotta face it. We gotta slow down. We gotta change.
I think that the best way that you can deal with it is to look at your life and see what is not equal, like see where things are out of balance with this like give and take kind of energy. Use that Mars to have some like take some ambitious action in that area of your life, and then use that energy of Pluto to be like fully surrender to your limitations first, so that way you can open your mind up to other possibilities. So you can use this as very powerful energy to transform in very powerful ways, or you can let the overwhelm of the external world crumble you. And you know what I'm saying? Like it can go either way. You get to choose which way you're going to use this.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Love that. Yeah, because you really might see this play out in the external world. Like I just have a feeling that it will, you know?
Yep.
Especially with all this like agitated energy that we have been feeling, like just when that aspect comes, it's like, you know? So, okay. Sunday. Oh, and then also on Saturday, the moon then moves into Leo in the evening, right? And then we're feeling that again as well. Like, so Sunday, the moon is still in Leo and Venus is at its last degrees of Leo and almost out of shadow. So that's another big part of this too. And Mars is still fucking squaring Pluto at the same time. So like we are also recapping on this day, like all of Mercury or all of Venus retrograde and Venus transit through Leo. And remember when we first started talking about it, it was in that gate of saying yes. We're back there again. So we're like, I think of this too. I thought of this when I was making these notes. I'm like, what did I say yes to as like when this transit began, am I pissed at myself or pleased with myself for all the things I said yes to? Right? Like,
when was this? When did this start?
what do you mean?
So this,
like
like, when did we say yes the first time?
okay, so let me
I feel like it was July.
yes,
I have no idea what
it was. It was.
He's Awaken the Witch.
Wait, what is going on here? Oh, there we go. Yeah. So July. Yes, it was July because that is when
Venus went into Leo.
Well, no, Venus actually went into Leo in June. So it went into Leo in June, transited through into July at like around the end-ish of July is when it got to the last degrees of Venus, which is where we are right now.
Okay.
And it started to turn retrograde. So this is literally, we went through Leo, back through Leo, back through Leo again. And now we're finally almost done with Leo. Like, that was a lot of Venus Leo for a very long time.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that is done. When does Venus move into a different sign? Is it going to be next week then? The next week or whatever? The next day?
It is going to be on October 12th. So next week.
God damn it. Okay, so we're just getting a giant poop of this energy on this Sunday. Okay.
Yes. I also wrote here too, let's to get into that gate again, because this is where we started the Venus retrograde, is gate 29, devotion. I wrote here like to overcommit. That's also part of that saying yes, saying yes to things that aren't what you really want. That's that people pleasing energy again as well. So to not know when to let go and when enough is enough, to fail to commit to the right thing, to burn out and deplete yourself because you don't say yes to yourself, putting yourself first, to do something just because you can, not because you want to discover what and who you need to devote yourself to sustain yourself so that you can sustain your devotion, to learn to say no to what you need to say no to, and to learn to say yes to what you want to say yes to.
Okay.
Wait a second.
What?
I
fucked it all up.
Possibly, because let me just. Oh, no, I was wrong. Yeah, Venus moves into Virgo this coming Sunday in the evening.
So after on the 8th.
Yep. So after all of this, like we're going through that saying
that
yes.
was a big poop of energy. Yeah.
Yes.
Toothpaste time.
Oh,
good.
So yeah, I put in the evening, Venus moves into Virgo, and at the same time, the moon squares Jupiter. And also Venus opposes Saturn in Pisces, right? Because it's that first degree of Virgo Pisces, which is that opposition feeling again between this walk your talk. And Saturn is in that gate 50. So we didn't talk about this either. That is the gate of abundance and the ability to inspire and gain trust through setting a positive example, bringing emotional abundance through spirit. And it can be deeply melancholic because it's always looking for the perfect emotional state. And it creates a channel with provocation. So it's like, while it's looking for that perfect emotional state, it's kind of like provoking others to like get there, like to get that release that it wants, or to get that admiration that it feels that it's want, like whatever kind of emotional state it's wanting to feel. And this opposition to all of this that's going on the other side is what we're saying yes to, right? So it's like, that's kind of why, like, how often do we say yes to things that we don't really want to say yes to, just because that, like I've read that part where it's like to do something just because you can do it rather than you want to do it. When someone goes like, hey, I notice you have all these skills. I would really like for you to do this. And guess what? That gives you this nice little hit of dopamine, this nice little emotional state. And then you go, yeah, sure. and deep inside you are fucking kicking yourself. You are letting yourself down. You are failing on your own promises. Like, again, right, we're trying to boost this, like, I want to also say too, like, we're boosting this sense of really healthy and spiritual ego. Like, one thing that really frustrates me in the spiritual community is all of this debate about ego, and how there's a lot of people dead set on like how you shouldn't have an ego. And it's like, the way that I view it, or the way that I perceive it, is like, your ego is literally like what keeps you alive. It is what, if my spiritual belief is that everything is one, the only thing that keeps me from falling into the abyss of that oneness is that ego that holds me separate from it, right? So it's like, it's not like, to give up my ego completely is to die as a self. It's for myself to go bye-bye, right? We can have ego deaths, we can transform ourselves, like we can be like, oh, I want a new identity, I want a new way of looking at myself, I want a new way of showing up into the world. That's fine. But like, that's an ego death. That's ego evolvement, like going through all these different archetypes and stories until you find the one that's like your highest self. Like, your highest self can also be your ego, right? Like, your ego has a highest self. So yeah, that's just my little tangent about ego. And that's it. That's all I got for the week.
I wanted to say, like, I don't know if I fully agree when it comes to your ego is your highest self, because your ego is there to keep you safe. And that is what is installed in all of us. Even the person that like grew up on a tribe in the middle of nowhere and knows nothing, they still know if they were to steal a piece of bread from their mom that they feel bad about it. Like,
well, I'm not saying that your ego is your highest self. I'm saying that your ego has a highest self.
oh,
you can evolve your ego to higher potential, because higher potential of ego is the things you create, the art that you make,
okay.
the way you express yourself. That's still ego, right? But it's healthy ego.
Okay. I see you, baby. Okay.
I'm so excited for the tarot.
All right. So first card is the Temperance card. Look at this little witchy witch. She's so cute.
So is this the one out of the Samhain deck then?
No, this is the witch, the Halloween tarot. And I don't know what I did with the book. It is the gown. There it is. I wasn't gonna look it up, but let me see here. Okay. It says a witch carefully mixes her ingredients, self-control and moderation. A good combination of choices. Make safe decisions, but don't be afraid of trial and error methods. Working well with others. So in like my patch tarot is the resurrection card. That's what Temperance is. And it says when you draw this card, you are advised that now is the time to actively evolve into a new you. You have all of this creative freedom inside of you and the awareness of limitless potential. Wow, that was my tea thing. Okay. And the ability to become anything that you want. You have surrendered your ego and moved through the passage of death and come out on the other side with a deeper connection to your higher self and the ability to become a new you. Holy fucking shit. Okay. So then the next one is we have the owl.
Ooh, yay.
This is Erika's spirit animal. And this is the Seasons of the Witch Samhain. So I've switched to the Samhain because I think that makes more sense. I don't know. Okay. Behold, sight, ancient ones, for there is a magic in the darkest of places if one dares to open their eyes. There is no witch or Samhain without the mention of owls. Owls are majestic creatures, often known as old souls, that have fantastic sight and the ability to turn their heads 270 degrees. Their energy is one of vast knowledge and observation. They sit in silence, carefully watching their surroundings for their prey. They do not need to search for what they seek endlessly, as they know what they seek will soon come to them. Owls has called because you are one of the great keepers of wisdom. Even if you don't know it yet, you have knowledge and experience that others need. You have something to share with the world, a voice that must be heard and a healing that must be shared. This is a natural path for you, and as the saying goes, when the teacher is ready, the student will appear. You are being asked to expand your spiritual knowledge in the realm of the owl, the night. Some quieter messages and signs wait for you in the unknown, in the void where the light is not present. This message is amplified if you have also pulled, no. Yeah, okay, so don't be afraid of what you cannot see. Trust in your other senses to pick up the load when your eyes are not enough.
Mm. Ooh,
Whoa.
that's so amazing for that
Wow.
Libra. Like I was thinking of it that way, like that shift heads around, that is
Yeah.
your ability to see all the different perspectives. And the other things is that we get so trapped in those perspectives, which is all like a mental game. And so like
Yeah.
what she said really reminded me of like my whole path of like learning how to feel emotions in my body, because that frustrated energy that leads me to go, aha, here's where a boundary needs to be set. I'm never going to find that in my head. I only find that from the feeling I get from my boundaries
Oh.
being violated, right? That's how I know.
Oh, okay. So the next one is boundaries.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's called a theme, though, whatever. The little quote with this, and I'm using the Witch's Wisdom Oracle. Get to the point and draw the line. A theme appears as a warning sign. Attention claimed, now cut those ties. Focus return, now you shall rise. The magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be, there it is done. Your intentions have been rather lazy as of, oh, not lazy, hazy, sorry. Your intentions have been rather hazy as of late, nor are you giving the right signals about who and what you are. In fact, do you actually even know who you are at this very moment? It is time to finally focus and get to the point. You cannot expect to be taken seriously if you have not set your boundaries. By not doing so, you will find that others cross the line by taking advantage of you, not respecting either your space or you. Your natural energy is being drained, drawing your attention unnecessarily to others instead of what is really important. Athame offers to cut ties with those who no longer serve your highest purpose. This doesn't necessarily mean that you will banish these people from your life, only that you won't be taking on their energetic demands, which are drawing you away from your true purpose. Mentally ask the power of Athame to cut these cords, and perfect love and perfect trust, and your vitality and focus will return. So the Witch's Foresight says you are being diverted from your path. Focus on what is truly important and honor your beliefs in yourself. Do not give in to the superficial demands of others and set clear boundaries. You would benefit from energy healing. Okay. So, hey, we're doing that on Wednesday to each other. So, this is like I think it's like a ritual thing. It says is used for ritual purposes of casting a circle, cutting ties, directing energy to cut and reseal a door in a ritual circle. It is the one of the 4 elemental magic tools used in traditional witchcraft. It represents the element of fire and is the masculine principle, evoking the act of procreation in conjunction with the chalice. Okay, so very interesting, because when I was at the Denver Mineral Show, I have never in my life ever thought that I needed anything like this, but I was like, I have to get this. And I've always used selenite, like selenite wand, to like clear people's energy or whatever. But to have a fucking sword or knife or whatever to be like, let's cut that off. Let's get that out of there. Like, just the ceremonial aspect of it, like I fucking love it.
Ooh,
So
back to that Taurus, that thing that you can
yes.
touch and feel. Yeah.
Yeah. I know when we were doing our meditation before this podcast, we were having to like really focus on our heart, and I had to put this on here so I could like feel like I really have to have things like that. And like you got to figure out if that's something that you need to do, then that's something you need to do. Like figure your fucking self out. That's what this is all about.
I really too like in that card it said, like, do you even know who you are and what you want? Because see, that is the worst side of the Libra axis, like the most extreme to the other side is that you completely lose yourself with others, and then you don't know what you want. You don't know exactly like what you're trying, like where are you trying to go? Like, are you the main character of your story with like with an arc and a purpose and an end game, or are you just like playing side character roles in everyone else's life, helping their story progress while you just kind of walk around aimlessly like, what the fuck am I doing? Right?
Yeah, how can people be side characters? I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense in my life. And I really
Because
hope
it's
that
peaceful.
No, it's not.
It's not internally, but it is externally. If you play a support role in other people's lives, you keep them happy with you. You keep the peace with them. You are so terrified of conflict, right? But then there's that internal conflict that you're not taking care of. See, that's the Libra Aries axis, though. The Aries axis is that internal that you just described and taking action on it, as to where the Libra is like not doing that. So it is that like internal out of balance. And that's also why a lot of Libras just like dip out. Like I remember reading that even something Libra with my even my gene key side of it, it talked about this line I had in something called the escape artist, right? So like I have a tendency in the past that when I finally figure that out and I'm like, why am I so like upset, or like, why do I feel so out of balance? And I find that out of balance within me that has come from me doing exactly what we just talked about, which is like me not putting myself first, basically. And instead of confronting that relationship and placing those boundaries, it's like, that means I'd have to have some kind of conflict with this person. That means that there might be a fight, and that is terrifying. So instead, I'm just going to escape. Like, I'm just going to do the escape artist, and I'll just like never talk to you again, and I've done that to people. But also now I also see both sides, right? Because like sometimes I'm like, yeah, you should do that, or I should do that to people when I don't think it's worth my fight. But like the relationships I have where I'm like, I want to keep you around, I don't want to lose you, that's when I need to resist that urge to want to escape, and I have to confront it and place the boundaries, right? So it's like differentiating as well. It's like who do you need to place boundaries with, and who do you need to Libra out from? Like, who's a waste of your fucking time?
Yeah. All right. So I think that the main message with all of that is I want to go back to you have all the potential inside of you. You have came out on the other side to become a new you. So go into those dark spaces, go into that owl. Let me go back to it just because I want to make sure I'm fully. Yeah, go into yourself. You have all the wisdom. You can experience the spiritual knowledge and everything all on your own. Don't be afraid of going into it. And because of this, you need to be making boundaries, because now you've learned more about yourself, and these people don't align with you, or this situation, or this blah blah blah. So yep, that's it.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So thank you guys for watching, and we hope that this all resonates with you. And if you are looking for more, please consider booking a combined session with both of us. Like, if you are needing some guidance or some insight in your life, our whole like sacred soul coaching sessions, they're all set up to like put you in the right direction. So our years of combined
to the other side.
Exactly. We have we have plenty of experience. Like our combined years of knowledge just makes for that like really
Today
magical.
is my 9-year anniversary of being a Reiki master.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
It's a long time.
That is a long time.
Yep.
I've had my when did I get my Reiki master? That was like 6 years
remember.
ago. 6 years ago, I believe.
But
Yeah,
yeah, guys, make sure you're checking out all the links and everything that's posted. And we have the Awaken the Witch Festival. It's coming up. Guys, tickets are selling. Commercials are being ran. So tickets are actually being sold and going fast. We only have a limited amount available. So make sure that you are getting your tickets if you're going to be going October 28th. It is a fucking full moon in Taurus, lunar eclipse. It's going to be a magical night. Come hang out with us. Come enjoy. Oh, yeah, that's the big thing that I just want to like push that. Let's go. Let's get this going. And then if you're looking into coaching or anything like that, just check out our websites, guys. Go check us out. You know what we feel like. You're seeing this right now. We love you.
All of the links to everything you need is in the description box below. So go check that out and click on those links and see what we can do and offer, and the Awaken the Witches down there as well. And also, guys, if you are liking what we're throwing down here, the best way that you can help us is by helping us grow this channel. And you do that by liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all the things that you can like give us some love. So like, you know, you love what we do this for free. The best way you can exchange energy with us is to help us grow this channel. And also, if you would like to donate to help us like make more I guess involvements to this whole thing, you know, like to have a better podcast space or
to make a living.
Yeah, that as well, right? Because like we put a lot of time and effort and care and consideration into this. Even just to like be able to hire someone to like help us figure out how to make it more appealing and like
we're trying, guys.
Studio ready, like yeah, all the things. So like if you would like to help us, in the links below are the links to both of our link trees where we have our payment like links also linked. So many links, but you can click on one of those as well and throw us some money. Just put Sacred Rebels so we know that it's what it's for. And I think that's all I got.
All right, thank you, everybody. Okay, you have to be the person that ends this. I don't know what's gonna be an awkward goodbye, everybody.
It will be an awkward goodbye. It'll be like a goodbye.
Goodbye.